Good afternoon, traders. Joseph here from Eightcap. So this is the second part of our Monday series of videos. So focusing on the economic outlook in this video, and we're going to run over some of the high impact news that's coming out throughout this week. So there's no high impact data or news events coming out for today, which is Monday the 11th. So we're going to move on to Tuesday, and into Tuesday we have the RBA governor speaking. We also have the UK unemployment rate and the climate count change, and we also have the employment change as well. So if you are trading the pound, that's definitely one to have a look at, and we'll see if there's any movements, if there's any differentials in the data to what's expected. Aussie traders as well, we'll be looking at comments from the governor just to see if there's any hints and how they're seeing things in terms of rates. Now, moving on to Wednesday and Thursday are probably going to be our two biggest days. Now, there's a fair bit of data coming out this week, so it's going to be hopefully plenty of influences, and could be some further volatility after last week, which was a pretty interesting week to put it mildly, after some really strong moves during the week. So we'll see if we get any big surprises and further volatility this week. So we have US CPI data which is coming out. Now that's probably one of the biggest ones, combined with Thursday as well. So there's also some Japanese manufacturing manufacturing index coming out on Wednesday as well. But I think the main focus will be on US CPI data, and that would be the month-on-month, the core, and the year-on-year. So the core has been the one that has been the most stubborn previously, so I think there will be focus on that month-on-month, the core CPI, and then obviously the year-on-year. Will we see any big changes in that? And they are looking for 3.1, which is slightly lower than the last data. And after the employment data that came out recently, now if we did see a mildly, warmer than expected employment data, and if we combine that with hotter than expected CPI data, that could start to cause some, revisiting some of the rate rise or rate increasement fears. But if it does continue the trend of moving down, it should just continue to aid and abet the stock momentum that we are seeing at the moment. So the dollar was firmer off the data we saw on Friday from the employment side of things, but it could take a bit of a hit if we do see lower than expected CPI data coming in on Wednesday. So that's moving on to Thursday, another busy day coming in. So it really does start with there's from the UK we have the GDP coming out as well. So we have a raft coming in on Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday are really the big days. Friday also there's a bit of data, but probably those key ones. So we have core CPI, PPI, and the PPI coming in, more inflationary data, and then we have the FOMC meeting, which is the funds rate, which they're looking at a hold at 5.50%, the FOMC statement, economic projections, and then the press conference. So on top of that, we have GDP coming out of New Zealand, and then we have Australian employment data as well, and then we will move into further central bank rate decisions as well. But we'll start with that. Obviously, we'll be looking at the statement from the Fed and the projections just to see any clues and ideas about how they are seeing things at the moment, and how the current rates picture is it working, and will then are we going to see it remain on hold? Are they happy with where CPI is if it continues to fall this week? And then what are some of their future ideas in terms of policy? Will it need to be adjusted further? Do they feel the economy is still a little bit too hot, or is it okay for now? Will we continue to see holds, or will we even see some speculation from hints that there could even be rate cuts next year? So there's a few things to have a look at, but definitely after the employment data, the economy still looks pretty robust. So that combined with the PPI, the CPI on Wednesday, so it's going to be, the midweek is going to be pretty busy this week in terms of that data. Employment data coming out of Australia, and the Kiwi GDP. So locally here for the employment data, I think the RBA will be looking at it from a bit of an idea to see how hot it, if it does really come in well above expectations. At the moment, the last data was 55.0 in Croatia, and they're looking for 10,000 jobs to be created, so a fair drop. And also 3.8% for unemployment, so just a slight tick up from the 3.7. So if that all comes in play, then that would probably really then point to further holds in interest rates from the RBA, unless we saw something really shift dramatically in other areas. Then so Thursday, continuing on, let's move over a little bit here. So Thursday is a pretty busy day. We have the interest rate decision coming out from the Swiss National Bank. We all remember what happened with this one many years ago. It's still listed as high impact. I don't know really why, but anyway, we'll see what their policy statement is. They're looking to hold rates at 1.75%. And then we move on to the UK interest rate decision. So their bank rate's looking to remain on hold at 5.25%, and the votes are looking at 2 to 0 to 7. So depending on what comes out in the statement, we'll probably be looking for a hold there, and possibly holds to remain. And we'll just see what Bailey and the bank have to say about CPI, their inflation situation at the moment, if they see it as stubborn or if they see it as okay at the current rate. Then we move into Friday. So it is early Friday morning our time, but we have the EU interest rate decision, and they're looking at a hold at 4.50% as expected, and then we'll see what they're looking at the statement. So Germany's economy is having a little bit of issues at the moment, so we'll see if there was a court challenge against, so they are trying to basically, a few of the parties trying to work that out, and that was for the budget. So with that, a bit of dismay there in the largest economy in the EU, maybe we'll most likely see a hold, and then just any comments about how they are viewing inflation across the EU at the moment. And moving into the remainder of Friday and Saturday. So we have retail sales coming out from the US. We also have Chinese industrial production data coming out as well. And US retail sales will be looked at as well. They're expected to come in at minus 0.1% on the core and on the month on month. And if they do come in around that area and we don't see any big surprises to the upside, that also will contribute just to things just bubbling along in the States, really. The ECB press conference will be after that data as well. US unemployment claims, as usual, will be coming in on Friday at 12:30 a.m. our time, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And then finally on Friday, we have the flash data coming out from the EU, the UK, and the US, and the US data will be coming out into Saturday, as well as the Empire State Manufacturing Index, and then that will round out the week. Now, the German and French data obviously is looked at pretty closely, same with the UK data, the services side of things, just to see how the economies are tracking in terms of the service departments and areas, and similar with the US as well. But I think that will be won't be discounted too heavily, but it's not the key events by far this week. We have a fair bit of things coming out starting on Wednesday. Really Wednesday, the US CPI data. Thursday, then we have the PPI data coming out as well, and then combined with the FOMC, the Bank of England rates decision, and the ECB rates decision as well. So also locally here we have comments from our central bank, and then the unemployment data as well. So there's a raft of data this week, and we will see if it does create a bit of volatility. We had some real surprises last week, so we'll see if we get any surprises this week, and if we do see some further volatility this week coming out of a real hot mess of data that's going to hit. So starting really from Wednesday. So enjoy it. If you are trading the news, remember you can get unexpected volatility, and it can affect your risk reward. So definitely always keep an eye on your risk and manage that quite tightly. And all the best with your trading this week. Thank you very much for your time. We wish you a very lovely week. Thanks, and bye for now.